Matt Gannon, Jers. We're back. We'll see if the music stops. Yeah.
There we go. We got it.
Fresh off. It's been about 1 month, a little less since we last potted. As we talked about at the time, we shared the news of the year and kind of how we're going forward. Great to be back. We're going to talk when there's golf to talk about. We're going to talk when there's things to talk about. We're going to get behind the microphones when there are important topics to discuss. And we've had a month of golf in the books now. 3 events, I believe. That's just on the PGA Tour. Obviously, the DP as well.
I mean, more like 1 event for you because you went 1 for 1. I know you're not a betting man, but like I just had to say it. 1 for 1. People are saying, "We'll talk." All right. We'll talk.
We'll get there. We'll get there. But great to talk to you. We always say we don't do any pre-pod because we don't. This is a natural conversation.
The
skip ahead may not like it. They may want to skip ahead and get to the content, but the OGs, the true Vincerix loyalists, no, we don't want pre-pod because this is an open conversation. We haven't chatted on the phone besides texting since the last pod, I don't think. And we just started talking 2 minutes ago. So there's a lot where you're like, how are things going? I think it's
it's always great to hear your voice because I mean, I want to call you like every day, but you just told me you're working like no one's ever worked before. So it's tough. But yeah, I've been great on the road again. You saw I was on a cruise, obviously, first time I've ever gone onto the ocean. So it was nice. It was nice. And now I'm back on dry land, definitely dry land here in Arizona. And it's good. I mean, we're back. We're just simply back.
What is the because you're, for the listeners, you're in Scottsdale. How close are you to the course? What's the Airbnb Boots setup? How's it looking?
Yeah, this is what we need to talk about. So it's a little back house of like a regular house. I got in there like late night, and I was like, damn, I got to go in a fence 2-key situation. It's literally just looks like a shed, but it's a big shed. It's like a studio. So I don't need anything more. Bed, couch, TV, bathroom, laundry, kitchen. It gets the job done. Nice little price. And I'm about probably like less than 30 minutes from the course, but we're credentialed this year. So it's no problem. Easy parking situation and right to the course.
Shout out the PGA Tour.
Shout out the PGA Tour. Always a big shout out to the PGA Tour. And they're getting it dialed because we got some people know this, but we're in for the Players. We're in for Genesis. We're in for Pebble. So if you're listening, maybe you don't know, but that's a little tease to the future. But shout out PGA Tour because we're in.
Shout out the PGA Tour. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so, you knew Pebble, but I guess the other ones were news.
That's different degree. That's what we're trying to do here. So that's exciting, and we'll touch on obviously first Boots of the year. I'm sure there's a lot of listeners here for the first Boots of the year. They may or may not have listened to the last pod, so we'll explain the situation for how you access the Boots content, where that's all living, all the great stuff going on ShipItNation. Shout out ShipIt. We'll touch on that plenty here on the pod. But game plan.
A nice little card situation. I'm dishing these out on the course. Got all the information.
They don't just give you business cards. You have to earn those.
Yeah. Big time. Big time deal now.
I actually remember my very first job out of college. I was working at a startup. And I got my first business cards. And I thought, like, oh my God, I've got my first business cards. Like, I've made it. And then a few days later, like, we hired somebody else. We needed to get them business cards. And the CEO was like, hey, man, order these people business cards. I went and it cost like $3. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this wasn't as cool of a thing as I thought it was.
Like, damn, these are cheap, but they get the job done.
What's the quality of the business card? Is it cardboard?
I would say 4 out of 10. I could have gone higher, but I just wanted to try them out, make sure they printed all right. So next time I'll get more quality.
Who are you business carding with? Like, what's the networking strategy?
Oh, it's basically like, you know me, I'm a man of the network. So if I'm talking to anyone, it's like, and it comes up, whether I'm like on a cruise or I'm at like the golf course, I'm like, all right, yeah, I do this. So check it out if you wanna get a part of it. So everyone likes to bet a little bit. So if they want to bet on golf, it's a perfect segue. I got the card with the code on it. They can try it for a week.
That's beautiful because I've said many times you're a man of the network. That's you've got many strengths, but versus like the average person, it's one of your strongest strengths is your ability in networking. And to take it to the next degree, Because there's so many times we're out there at Boots or playing golf, and you always tell people about Vince, and now you're telling them about ShipIt as well. Leaving them with a little memorabilia, a little remember you buy. That's just taking
all they need. All the information's on there too. The website and the code, like 1 free week, code Vincerix. Like it's not a hard game at all.
That's beautiful. Love it. Shout out ShipIt. Shout out Tambo. We'll touch all about Boots and how to access the content. Code Vincerix over there at ShipItNation.com. Final free week for now. I haven't talked to Tambo about how we'll get this set up maybe going forward. 10% off going forward.
Lifetime.
For sure. That's already lifetime. That's already locked in. But if you want free content this week, use code Vincerix over at ShipItNation. And that will go through Sunday of the Waste Management. Boots is over there. Also, Jersey, I don't know if you heard the Super Bowl is happening this weekend. I don't know if you saw the teams that are playing in the Super Bowl because we haven't talked since last time about that either, but we'll get there in a second. I don't know if you've seen it. There may be a team from the Great Northwest who's appearing in the championship game. But if you want to play some DFS, play some wagers maybe on the Super Bowl, there's ShipItNation content for that too. So I really can't think of any reason why, if you're listening to this podcast and you have to be a sports fan, you have to be a golf fan, you have to be a Boots fan, go over to ShipItNation.com, put in code Vincerix, get the Boots for free, get some NFL content for free, get 10% off going forward. Can you think of any reason why not just testing it out?
I mean, how many lifetime guarantees could you name off the top of your head? If you use code Vincerix, you get 10% lifetime guarantee for life. You can't. They don't just hand out lifetime guarantees, and we're handing one out. So
no,
it's not rocket science. It's not.
Yeah. So free content this week, 10% off for life. I'm trying to think of the last time.
What do they say? They say death, taxes, and lifetime guarantee 10% off at ShipIt. That's the saying with code Vincerix.
Yep. That is it.
I thought so.
And so there's that. I was going to talk about it later, but that's the code. That's how it works. And we'll talk about it later because we're going to talk Boots, obviously, here. But it's been a month since we last talked about golf. Things have taken place since the last time we talked. I got a variety of topics that I just need your input on because we haven't talked about them. We haven't talked in a month about the golf. First one that we talked about on the last pod was that we were out on Live because Merido isn't on the schedule. In real time, we looked at the schedule, saw that Merido wasn't there, and said, if they don't add Merido back, it could be real problems for Live.
And we thought it was a mistake at first, too, but turns out.
I thought that they weren't done with the schedule. I thought they were trying to figure out if they called the Players' Championship at Merido, Live Worldwide Global Championship hosted by Merido. I thought they were still trying to determine what the right name was.
Which was fair, yeah.
Turns out that wasn't the case. Still not on the schedule. And since then, a guy we talked about on the last pod as well, Brooks Koepka, you said his career was over on the last pod.
That was wrong.
If we're being honest. I thought he might play the DP. I was excited about it. I'm a Brooks guy, and I need to say that up front because the things I'm about to say, people may think I'm not a Brooks guy. But can you defend me for new listeners? Brooks guy.
Oh yeah, through and through. You don't even have to defend yourself. I don't think anyone will give you some slack for that. You've been a Brooks guy forever, so you're definitely happy to see him back, I would assume. Did you see any shots from him at Torrey? Because they wouldn't stop showing him. You probably were watching a little bit. So what's your take there?
That's what I was about to say. I was going to save it because I was going to ask you for your general thoughts on the Brooks situation and the Live situation, but I'll just cut to the chase of what I really wanted to say, which is I'm excited that Brooks is back for the PGA Tour. There's not anyone on the earth besides the Live faithful, and shout out to Live faithful, no beef whatsoever. Everyone else is excited that Brooks is back on the PGA Tour. When it happened, everybody was excited. We know he's back. Awesome. They were covering him like he recovered from like a terminal illness, and it was a miracle that like he's still with us. It was a disgrace. Why did they have one of the... Now, it was a blowout because Justin Rose was ahead by a million shots. And shout out Justin Rose. I mean, fan for life after what he did. What were they doing? Why was only one of the 3 on-course reporters following Brooks shot for shot in the final round? I've never seen... It would be one thing if it was Tiger. It would be one thing if they had covered Brooks like this when he was originally on the PGA Tour. They used to never show Brooks. Like, he wasn't somebody that if he's out of contention on a Sunday, they're showing shots of Brooks. Never, ever. it was too much. And because of that, it took away from my excitement of Brooks being back, because I was like, why are we overdoing it to the nth degree right now? And it started to get annoying, which I was disappointed by
Yeah.
as being a Brooks guy and as somebody who was excited about the moment. What were your thoughts on the Brooks coverage?
I mean, we knew that he was going to get coverage. I don't think we thought it was going to be that much. And I saw like a lot of tweets about like, okay, we get it. Like he's back. Uh, I wasn't as dialed in as you because just Rosie was running away and I didn't have anyone in the mix. But I think there's going to be a line, and this is probably a great litmus test because it's the waist. It's going to be a lot of TV. What I will say is I thought it was amazing that we had the featured group coverage on ESPN. Not that that really mattered because we're like have ESPN Plus, but like it was on like cable, like you could watch the featured group coverage. So that's
Yeah.
cool that Brooks made that happen. But that's Thursday and Friday. Like we can get away with it. We didn't have to show him when he's 25 shots off the lead, literally 25 shots off the lead, just hitting shots, missing 4-footers. So we'll find the line of it this week, hopefully.
Yeah. And I agree. I think it being on ESPN, that's sick. Let's get golf in front of as many people as possible. There's shrink the game people. We're grow the game people. We want as many people watching the golf on a weekday as possible. It was just, and then after the round, like these emotional interviews and stuff like this, and like, as a Brooks guy, it was a tough moment for me. I'm just gonna be honest, and I was excited for it. I thought it'd be a happy moment. Got a little much, but hopefully we dial it back a little bit this week. That's the thing. If it's a one-time thing, first event back,
I'm sure enough people like were like, all right, complain a little bit, and we have everyone back. This is like a big television event. I didn't see who he's playing with this week yet, so I'm sure he's featured. Do you know who he's playing with yet this week? Because I know the tee times are out, but I saw it.
He'll be featured because this is a national trio.
Yeah.
Brooks, Xander, CY.
Yeah, that's featured. How about Scottie, Spieth, Gotterup? That is sweet group. That is a sweet group.
We'll get to the waist because
we'll get to the waist.
There's good things cooking there. But I digress. If we dial it back, I'm glad Brooks is back. Obviously, that's great. I think it makes him more competitive for majors, which is all I care about with
Brooks. For sure.
Is Brooks going to mix in the majors? I think, obviously, he won a major when he was on Live. I think it had been downhill enough from there that he knew if he wanted to mix majors, it was time to switch it up. Brooks is a smart guy. Brooks knows what it takes to win majors. I'll support him with whatever choice he makes. Excited that he's back, but let's let him naturally mix before we go crazy about it, because at the end of the day, Brooks is not a regular PGA Tour event guy. That's not why Brooks came back to the PGA Tour, was to play more regular tour events. For the
he has to now, but yes,
he's doing it for being in the best position to compete.
Well, he has to play a lot of events. That was under the thing. He has to play. I don't remember how many, but he has to play like a lot of events. So he's going to play the ones that he usually wouldn't play.
Yeah. And so it's like, he's not out there. Sure, he wants to win, but it's Brooks. He doesn't give a fuck about winning the Farmers Insurance Open. He's building up for big events. Now, with that being said, could be a little different this week at Waste, but let's let it happen naturally. Let's not force the issue. Speaking of guys who maybe play on the DP Tour, maybe are leaving Live, maybe won at Merido, so no one would be more upset if Merido got removed from the schedule than the man who won the event there. Two-time major champion Patrick Reed, Mr. Worldwide, I think is what we should start calling him.
Yeah,
guy wins all over the world. Shout out Kessler, strokes gained dog. No one else. I'm excited for you for Boots Szn and Patrick Reed being back. I know it's not going to be till next year, but is there anyone else at Boots who comes outside of the ropes to say strokes gained dog and check in general on where P Reed's standing in the rankings besides Kessler?
No, that was an all-time moment. I'm happy that he's back, that they're going to be back. I remember, well, I mean, as soon as that news came out, like I saw Kessler posting like smirk emojis, like we're back. But I think P Reed's playing in Bahrain this week or wherever the DP is. They like you said, Mr. Worldwide, they're back. So it looks like 2027 is the date. Maybe something will happen sooner, and we'll see him in the majors. So I haven't said anything to him, but hopefully we can chat soon because we're happy. I'm happy that he's back.
Next time you see Kessler, can you check in with him on if P. Reed left because of Merida. Like, can we just get confirmation about that? Because what do you
It's
say?
it's definitely a big reason. I would say 75.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
70. So yeah, if you could
Yeah.
confirm if that's why he left, that would be great. Probably Augusta. If you're able to boots Augusta, that would be the moment. See Kessler at
That
Augusta.
would be sweet. That'll be big time.
That would be
We will
special.
see.
First tournament of the year. Your boy Chris Gotterup, winner. We talked on the last pod. You picked him in a major, I believe.
U.S. Open. He's gonna be 3-1 by that time. 10-1. 10-1 by that time.
And I picked him at Riv, and then you said, I asked you if you would take a future, and you said no because you think the odds will get more favorable. It appears the Gotterup train is going to has left the station. And how on it are you going forward on the team rep as he becomes more of a favorite?
I actually got a DM today, said, "Is this the last week Gotterup is going to be 35-40-1?" I was like, honestly, maybe, because like, I mean, this is a golf course that he should set up well for if he has a nice driving week, and he's just continuing to get more confident and better, and it makes my heart so warm and full to see him thriving and playing, being a top 10 player in the world at this point. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I wish I could have gotten there for the Sony because it was that bomb and gals like we talked about, and just the future's bright for Team Rep. Future's bright.
Who else won a golf tournament that
Justin
week?
Rose, Scottie Scheffler. Oh, that week. It might have been.
I just wanted to get the DP result.
Nacho Elvira, Patrick Reed, and Jaden. No, yeah, Nacho Elvira.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. Shane Lowry, low dog moment on the 18th hole, losing to Nacho. I asked you also on the last pod, will the Ryder Cup moment change the course of the year for Lowry and him start to have more dog?
Yeah.
Not the start we were looking for. You said no, to your credit.
Yeah, I said no. I said it's
about what happened in Dubai.
Just another day for old Shane now. And he was distraught. It's like, what are we doing? It's just so often now. Not that he's like the lowest dog player, gets in the mix so much and blows it, but like when he does, he just never comes through. And that was bad. That was really bad what he did. And have we seen him since? No, I don't think so. He hasn't played since. So yeah. I don't know what's going on in his head right now.
So last pod we talked about it. Shutting down of the Vincerix site. Me retiring largely from betting in DFS on a weekly basis, but I said there would be events that I get involved in, things I get excited about. I also said I'm single bullet Scottie every time he plays. Now, hand up. I did not bet the Amex, so I was not single bullet Scottie. I did not profit from that. However, then Wednesday night last week, the inkling of Torrey Pines was funneling through me. And I go, you know what? It's not time for it. I was like, because the first event, this is a true story. First event of the year on the Wednesday before the Sony, the juices got flowing. I was looking at the odds board. I was like, I was close to pulling the trigger, didn't do it because I said to myself, one of the issues, and not the driving force of any of the reason of shutting down Vincerix, we talked about this last pod, was I genuinely think that if your goal on betting on outrights of golf is to put as much money in your pocket over a year as possible, betting on every event is not the best way to do that.
It's a fact.
End of story. It would be insane for anyone to argue against that. But also, when you're in the content game, you have to do picks all the time. It's part of the content game because you don't know which weeks another person, that's the week that they want to be involved with. So if you take the average, the event that I think is the right one for me to bet may not be the same one that's the right one for another person to bet because it's all based on if you have an edge in knowledge basically about that course or not. And when I started to think about Torrey, I was like, this could fit the bill. Long story short, bet J Rose wins. But it's less about that and more that I'm feeling good about the strategy of just not betting when Scottie's playing. And then doing long cards like 16x. That's the other thing. I think you need to do really big cards that pay 15 to 20x and try to win 1-2 bets the year. Like, I don't think I'll bet. This was a 16x card. I don't think I'll bet more than 10 to 12 events for the year.
No, definitely not. You're
So
and you're good. And you're good. Less stressful, like, and you're in the green.
How are you? Where are you at through the beginning of the year? I've been following the content, but it was just a interesting. Well, like, I'm just struggling this week, for example. I want to bet, but Scottie wins every time. Like,
every time.
How should this was the question I wanted to ask? That was a long tangent just of background. How surprised were you that Scottie won the Amex?
I wasn't like shocked. I wasn't not surprised either, but I didn't think he was going to win the Amex. I'm going to be honest. I just didn't think he was going to, but I was not like, no, you know how I stand on my hills a lot. I wasn't like, no, he's not winning the Amex, but I was like, yeah, this is Scottie. He's still the best. He's finding new ways to get better. And it was just so special what he did at the Amex. Just like he did it in every way. Hughes tweeted it, nuking. Absolutely, like that's the definition of a dead nuke. Dead nuking all week, and like he was never the longest, still not the longest, but what he was doing was like rivaling some of the longer drivers in that field and giving himself a wedge. Oh yeah, I'll put this to 8 feet. This is just an easy left to righter. Why not? Shoot 6 under every single day. No big deal.
Because my regret was, and this is, we talked about this on the last pod when I said I'm single bullet Scottie every time he played, and I asked you, how long do you think he'll be positive odds? When does it turn into negative odds to win?
Yeah.
And I wish I had actually bet the Amex and just done the same, because I think it was like plus 325 on Bet Online.
Yeah.
That's gone. It'll never happen again because like he it's unbelievable. And what the great part about it, and why I'm feeling even before last week, before betting on Jay Rose and having what a performance from Jay Rose, was it was fun rooting for Scottie. Yeah, I feel like I always root against Scottie. I've had to spend the last years of time always rooting against Scottie because it just is what it is. Sitting there and watching him just by like
greatness.
Yeah. And I'm excited this year by not betting against Scottie. And you can obviously do this if you're betting the Waste Management this week. You can bet the without, but it's different. I'm saying
it's different.
Before
just Scottie from a fan standpoint.
Yeah, from a fan standpoint, also from a betting standpoint. I got into golf before Scottie was Scottie. We got into golf betting before Scottie was Scottie. Betting then was different when you'd bet every
week. He was
week.
my comp. I think back when he was my comp.
When he played like you. Now it's different. His odds, it's not just his odds. He's actually winning half of the time he plays in the tournaments. He switched to the mallet, and Rory told him, hey, bro, mallet. He was like, good call. And he's won half of the times, basically, that he's golfed since then. I would rather sit there on the weekend and go, I hope Scottie birdies every hole and hits a hole in one every time because this is fucking dope, than me personally having to root against that because it happens every time. So it's better to be on the good side of it because you're never on the right side when you're against him. Unbelievable stuff. What is your State of the Union on Scottie? Like, you were a little skeptical, I think, coming into the year on the over-under wins. He's 1 for 1. He may go 20 for 20. What do you think is going to happen from here?
I was never one to be this sucks. We can't win any bets because Scottie's in the field. I always appreciated him like existing. It never like got me mad. So I am cool with all of it. I still think he's on that trajectory. I think the total was 5.5. I said under 5.5 for the year. I think I'll still sit on that under 5.
You said 4.5.
Okay, 4.5. I'll stay with under 4.5. That's bold take. I'll stay with it. And I can look stupid, but I'm gonna stand on my hill. It's still a lot of wins. Is there a reason? I don't know. I don't have a reason.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like,
no.
Like what
regression. But I don't know. I don't have a reason.
He's only getting better. Like he would.
Yes.
The way, we've talked about Scottie as positional bomber, potentially positional bomber plus on certain
He's
occasions,
there.
but more of a positional bomber. Get the dictionary if you're new.
Yeah. We need that dictionary on the site, like on everything, because I keep talking about it on ShipIt. And
you could carry with your business cards, you could carry around a miniature like little book that is the dictionary. You could give them out.
I should get those. That would be great.
How much do you think we'd have to pay like a really average
Webster?
player? Like someone who's just completely middle of the pack golfer. Here, let me give you
Davis Chatfield.
How much do you think we would have to pay Nate Lashley to have the Vincerix dictionary on his golf bag, like hanging as like a little dictionary,
like a bag tag,
or we could pay a golfer to put it in their back pocket with their yardage book.
That would, I mean, we need to get one Vince golfer, one of these up and comers. I was talking to some of the rookies today; they're very approachable, so maybe I can get that in the bag.
Is who's our boy from last year? Driver putter. Is he back on the?
Where did we see him? Where did we see him?
You became boys with him early in the year. What's his name? Why am I blanking?
Must not have been the boy then. Driver putter.
No, you guys were boys. He I think you met him at maybe Sony or something like that. Jackson Suber. Apologies.
Oh,
Jackson.
Suber.
Jesus. Hand up.
Yeah. I think he is like I don't know. Yeah, he's KFT because he was in Q school and had a bad final round, but he got in the field last week because of the Brooks rule. Because Brooks had like gets like 2 people in, so I don't think he's here this week though.
But the way Scottie was driving the ball,
unreal.
I turned on the TV because I wasn't watching that much. Because that's the other thing. It's like I can also just flip it on and just watch with no
when you want.
Yeah. And I watched him hit 2 drives, and I thought to myself, that just looks like it's going further than Scottie normally hits it, but it didn't. His swing didn't look any different. And then I went and checked the stats, and he, like you said, was nuking. If he became positional bomber plus, how could anyone defeat him? He also is
nobody could.
Top 10 putter every tournament that he enters now. Like it used to be. We spent 2 years saying, hey, if this guy could make putts, he'd win literally every time. Look at the numbers. Like statistically, he will win every time.
And he is.
It's truly special stuff. All of that to say, I can't now actually partake in single bullet Scottie because the odds are getting too ridiculous. But maybe I should because until it's below 50-50.
At least you get a sweat. Sweat is worth the money.
But I really think I'm only going to bet majors and non-Scottie events because the thing with Torrey was I feel like Torrey's a course that I've always handicapped reasonably well. And when Scottie's not in the field, what we're seeing in these tournaments is that mid-range to longer odds guys are winning a lot of the time. They're like 40-60 all the way into 100-1 guys in these non-Scottie tournaments are winning. The like backup favorites, basically the non-Scottie favorites, not too much to worry about. And when someone like Justin Rose, who's top 10 in the dog rankings and has won at Torrey, it's kind of fun, and that's what I'm just going to do this year. And I'll post them on Twitter when I pick them. People will, if they want to tail, they can. If they don't, they don't. Selective, pick and choose non-Scottie high dog players who can win. I don't want to be stressing over a guy who can't win, and that was the glorious thing about what Rose did was the luck of having an absolutely no stress winner for the only bet of the year so far. The golf gods maybe are rewarding me for taking it to ShipIt. Maybe they're saying ShipIt was the right move for Vincerix all along. This is the sign from above.
Yeah, I totally agree. Can you hear me? Because I have to change my headphones off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, because you immediately got to mix one card, one winner, and I thought that too. I had 2 guys tied for first on the back 9 at the Sony. Didn't go well, but I was like, this is the right move. We made the right move. Nice long. It was like a 9x card or 8x card, and didn't come through. But I think good things are coming. I do.
What is your? So you're just going to continue to bet against Scottie?
No, not every week. Like I've had, I have sometimes I'll go in there without. I was not scared to go in there without. If I think it this week, I'm gonna go against them this week. Is it stupid potentially? But I have my rules, and I'm gonna see how it goes. I think I saw a few guys in that like 25 to 40 range who have beaten them in their lives. Nothing like Bez last year or Smalley last year. But I think I might have found a few people who can potentially get by him this week.
All I'm saying for me is I'm glad I'm not betting against Scottie this week because I'm afraid of what like at waste. If he brings positional bombing plus now to this course, because he's already won here with driver putter before. That's the
Yeah,
crazy thing. I
driver
was looking
short
at
game.
his previous stats. He
I mean, he has before he was Scotty, this was one of his best course fits for his driver short game build. That's what I look at waste, and now it's just driver short game. Yeah, oh yeah, and I'm the best iron player in the world too, so that helps me sometimes.
his short game at
And
Amex
they
is
still the announcers. Scotty Scheffler's got a really underrated short game. Does he? Does he now? Does he have a really underrated short game? I tweet it every time I hear them say it. It's ridiculous.
What do you think about blades mixing? That was sick.
And you see the guy who texted me, the guy texted me. I think I'm going to throw 65 to 1 Blades Nicholas tournament low round of the day. Goes out and shoots 60. So shout out. His name is Kenny. Shout out Kenny for that bet. And then he got out. He played 8 days in a row. Special talent. Special talent.
Blades Scottie final rounds the sickest thing that's happened this year by far.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. There will probably be more of those. A few more at least. Yeah, Blades is the truth.
I've been getting tweeted at regarding Nick Dunn. Do you have a State of the Union on Nick Dunn and what's going on? It's not getting better.
It's funny. His stat profile at Stoney was one of the funniest things maybe of all time. I think he was last of the guys who made the cut off the tee and second on approach. I don't even know how that's possible, genuinely, because he had to have been hitting hero iron shots into the green. He was hitting the ball in places that no pro has ever hit the ball. It is tough, and today I was. But when I get these inside the ropes passes, I get so close. I was this far from Carl Phillips, driver, and I'm like, damn, if Nick Dunn could just have some of that. And he had it. He had it. It's sad. It really is sad to see. Really sad to see. And I don't think he's playing this week. He would hit it in the water, I would say 9 times if he was here. 9. In 2 rounds.
Yeah, and this is a course that you would have thought was a slam dunk for Nick Dunn when he was going to break Jack's record. It actually segues to a question that I had for you that I was thinking about while watching Justin Rose at Torrey. Strokes gain California is a real thing also in the flow chart. Don't lose, because that was when I was just looking at the odds. I was like, Justin Rose, strokes gain California vibes.
Yeah,
And
Pebble.
as soon
Pebble,
as I saw
Brendan
the
Todd.
weather was going to be nice at Torrey, I thought to myself, Justin Rose in the nice weather, he just needs something to make him interested in playing good that week. We lose sight of how good Justin Rose has been for so long. And what I also, when I was, so I probably spent 10 minutes looking at the data, which I also think is helpful. We talked about this before too. Less is more. I was spending way too much time over analyzing shit, and I'm better moving quick and making decisions.
That's a perfect set. Remember last year, all of our first 10 names we wrote off the top of our head. That was a winner. One of us made minimum every other week, maybe 70% of the time. Out of those first 10 names we wrote, one of us had the winner. And that's just no data, just looking at the odds board. Yeah, this is a good number. He makes sense. Bang. And the more you look, the more you get yourself off. And I'm starting to do less of that too. Not everything's going to be perfect. You don't have to try to make everything perfect. So it's been helping me as well.
And all we're doing right now is thinking out loud, and I'm sharing what's going on in my head, because we've said a million times, we're not the world's best golf bettors. We're very knowledgeable about golf, but betting outright is there's different skills that you need to complement just being a ball knower with to do good on outrights, because the strategy needs to be really good. And over my time of betting outrights for 4 or 5 years, there's been highs, there's been lows, and I'm always just trying to figure out what I think works best for me, because not because I think I can get rich betting on golf outrights. I don't think that. It's been probably impossible. But what I do think is I love watching a golf bet in the mix, and it's the best thing that exists. But there's also a lot of annoyance that comes along with it. Quick and snappy. And so I saw that stuff in the odds, and then I quickly looked at Justin Rose's Data Golf profile. Shout out Data Golf. And he was nuking off the tee his last few events. And I was like, okay, Rose is nuking. And he was nuking once the tournament started. I hadn't seen him play at all at the Amex, but like Rose is up to number 3 in the world. That's insane. If you would have known 6 months ago that Justin Rose was going to be number 3 in the world.
To think about. It really is crazy to think about. And I know the OWGR is a little bit wonky, but the number is the number. And I mean, it is crazy to think about. Do I think he's the 3rd best golfer in the world? No. Do I think he is the top 10 golfer in the world with enough dog? Yeah. And like that dog could get him up there. But like his confidence has got to be through the roof now for this year of majors. Like it has to be. And we know he can mix in the majors. I mean, I just can't wait for major season. I really can't. Like that walk to Royal B in a few months is just going to be like just walking down the street, seeing Wako with a coffee and his girl not practicing at all. Like those are the moments I live for.
It's so
I
good.
can't wait.
It's so good. The question I had about Nick Dunn and Rose, because when I was watching Rose this week, I just thought to myself, like, to ever become the number 1 golfer in the world, ever, just for a little bit, to ever reach number 1 is so difficult to do. There's lots of guys who win majors. The number of people who have won majors since the OWGR has been invented is way more than the guys who have been number 1 in the world. And you just see, like, to ever get that good is so special. And I wanted to read off to you who the most recent number 1s have been, because it's a much smaller list than I think people would assume. And then I want to know from you both who's the worst number 1 player ever, and then who's the next most likely number 1 player who has not yet been number 1. So after Scottie, who, if it was Rory, this wouldn't count because Rory's already been number 1. Who's the next one? Let me read off to the recent ones, just so people have a sense of, I doubt people off the top of their head know who all the number 1s are in the same way that we know who's won recent majors, for example. So stand by. Golf World number 1s. Who do you remember who it was before Scottie?
Rahm.
Nice. Okay, so it's been Scottie, Rahm, Scottie, Rahm, Scottie, Rory, Rahm, DJ, Rahm, JT, Rahm, Rory, Brooks, DJ, Rose, Brooks, Rose.
Scottie was number 1. Oh, you're going backwards. Go backwards. Okay.
So individuals: Scottie, Rahm, Rory, DJ, JT, Brooks, Rose, JT again, Jason Day in 2016, Spieth before that, Adam Scott before that, then Tiger, then Luke Donald. And I'll pause there because that's through 2012. Who is the worst player of the players that I just listed off, in your opinion?
The worst player, Justin Thomas. No,
I agree. That's when I looked at this weekend after thinking about that about Justin Rose, and I was reading the names because I wanted to tweet something about how crazy it is to get number 1, because each name I was like, damn, these are serious golfers. And then I saw JT on there, and I was like, you know what? He's the worst golfer, but also he has 2 majors, and it's like JT used to be really, really good.
And he is like what 18 wins, something like that. How many wins does Scottie have? I think 22,
20.
21.
He just got 20. That was the big
20
thing.
is so insane. So insane. And like, yeah, but Justin Thomas, like 18 wins is crazy too.
He has 16 wins and 2 majors.
Yeah, that's serious stuff. I mean, like number 1 for a reason. It's probably Jay Day or Justin Thomas. Or Luke Donald.
Yeah. I feel like if you don't have a major, that's a real knock against you, which is Luke Donald. That's a real knock. But if JT, that just made me think of, damn, JT was, I think of him in my head as kind of a failure. I'll be honest. We shit on JT on the pod. Like, it's no beef with JT. I like JT. It's fine. But like, at least Colin never got to number one. If Colin had got to number one, I would have ruined everything.
Yeah, Colin's back to like 45-1 nowadays.
What's going on with Colin? Did you see him out there? This is a Boots report that I want information on, is Colin, because I trust you to tell me.
Yeah, I saw Colin on the range only. So I didn't see anything. He was doing an interview. Hopefully I could see him tomorrow. But plugged for the site, 55 plus names, some interesting course notes. No Colin Morikawa though. He will be on there tomorrow, hopefully. I'm excited to see him though. But am I going to bet him? Probably not. But always good to see what's going on in the world of Colin.
What is the give the folks the details of Boots, because I'm personally interested in the situation with Colin, both merely from a vibes perspective. I need to understand what's going on there, because where did he finish to start the year? Because it was unserious, if I remember.
Yeah, he finished. Oh, he missed the cut in Sony.
He is legitimately lost it. Russell Henley killed Colin, which is a very, very complicated thing to even say out loud, because Russell Henley taking something from somebody and he hasn't made a putt since. He has not made a single putt since then.
Yeah, that was, and he's been hitting banana slices every time I see him, which he's not committing to it. If he commits to it, then fine. But he's not him. And he literally posted in December, he's like, all I want for Christmas is to get my fade back, and he just can't do it. Just cannot do it. I'm interested to see him tomorrow, though. I am.
But because there are people, and we're honest takesmen. I want people this week to go over to ShipItNation. Check it out.
Yeah, I also
in report. Check out I was just going to say that, like, I personally still each week, even the events that I don't choose to end up betting, and I'm not going against Scottie from a betting perspective. I'm only betting outrights. So for me personally, for how I want to consume golf this year, which is only betting outrights and only on a handful of events that I think I have some sort of edge on, I'm not personally going to be betting this week. There's lots of people who are. What kind of information is going to be over there? What's going to be on the site? How do they access it? And just what do you want people to know about Boots and ShipIt in general?
Yeah, I mean, first thing is I use the word desertsman in the Boots report. I explained it on the stream. I just got off a live subscribers only stream, which I thought is a really cool thing. That I don't even know how they do it, because I don't think they do it on YouTube. They might be integrated into the site, but if you're a ShipIt sub, you get to private access to the stream, which I basically go down everyone that I saw, and then the guys that I didn't do.
Can I call timeout? Can I call timeout? Because I'm learning in real time as well. You're saying, because very common on a Boots week, people send in messages and they say, what is happening with Davis Riley this week? It's random things. It doesn't
always that though. They always ask that.
You could name any player in the field, and it's likely somebody has a question about them. And we've seen it. We've seen firsthand the number of questions that come in on a Boots week. And we've always struggled with how's the best way to handle all of these questions. We're going to go try to see as many people as we possibly can. That's the point. But we also need to see people that we actually saw enough to have an opinion on. But then it was like, okay, we got the Discord. That's ways to tell people. You're saying that through ShipIt, if you want the Boots report and you use code Vincerix, stream with you, they can just ask any sort of question, real time, iterative process.
Yeah, real time. I literally just got off, and I think it was about 30 minutes. I gave the course report, what I saw. Like, basically, I used the format that kind of we did, except I just did more players. Usually on our stream, we only did like 4 players because we wanted everything behind the paywall. Now, this is behind a paywall, so I can say whatever I want. Like I said, I didn't get to every single player in the stream, but the rest of them will be in the report. It's called, so if you go over on ShipIt, click PGA, under a tab called Boots Bullets. It's the same concept as we had at Vincerix, just bullet points. We have it set it up with the player name, price point, scroll down, and all just the bullets. And it's going to be the same ethos and style as we've done it. I told Tambo, I told the guys, I'm using their nicknames. I'm saying what I want to say, but the real names are on there with the real price, so you know who everyone is. In the past, we would just say Nations, and you'd have to figure out who Nations is, or BSB. You'd have to figure it out. Now, I will say BSB, but it would be underneath Andrew Novak. So it's still going to be there. It's still going to be there.
I was going to say, if you're a person who's learning the nicknames, it should be like learning a new language. Your goal should be not to need to read the real name, but it is there as a translation if you need it. But the goal should be to not need it. But that sounds awesome. I'm excited to see the tidbits. And I'm going to say this on behalf of, even though now I, from this week perspective, have no hand in the game on the Boots report. I'm merely I'll be intaking it just like everybody else. It's just one data point. It's just one data point. We've said it every time. We always say this about Boots, and I think it's the first Boots of the year. And the last thing I want is people to have false expectations or false hopes. It's one data point. There's been some highs, some real high highs. Carlos Ortiz at the U.S. Open would be an example. There's been some low lows. There's definitely been more highs than lows, which is why Boots succeeds and why people like it and why the people who know to use it as a data point love it, because it's one data point. If you're betting on golf, you have all the data. That exists. Why not add another data point from the course? Plus, it's not, I assume it's not just the player reports. You're talking about the course conditions. Are you letting people know how the course is playing?
Yeah, and I'm not going to give it out here, but I did notice something in the course that was a little bit different than last year that may have been floating around the Twitter circle, but I'm not really sure. So yeah, there's
you Boots last year, right?
I did Boots last year, yeah. So I did notice. What? Oh yeah, I got your hat. Yeah.
But that's great because there is value from seeing how courses play different every year. The players talk about it, and I've tried to use what the players say about the course, but not overhyping, just saying a fact. I trust my eyes and your eyes more on how the course is playing than what a player says in an interview. We've talked many times about that aspect of the players just say stuff sometimes. They have to answer questions.
They're professional golfers. They're not professional booters. If they wanted to be professional booters, they would be that. So it's not their job. It's not a big deal. It's not their job.
No, you couldn't go out there and shoot 65, but you can Boots.
Yeah, and that's fine, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and you got to accept it for what it is. But that's all I'm saying is go over there, check it out. That's the great thing about it being free. I feel like also there's people who probably haven't signed up for the Boots report. They've watched the pod before. They love the Boots pod. And we've always said a million times, we love people who subscribe to the site. And we love people who like and subscribe on YouTube. And if you are listening on YouTube, toss a like and subscribe on this pod, because we're going to keep podding about whatever we want to pod about. We talked about last time. If you want the hardcore details, the Boots reports, all that good stuff, ShipItNation.com. It's over there. Code Vincerix for free this week. We'll still do pods like this. What a chance to check it out. If you've never actually seen a Boots report, a written one, this is the week for it. Go check it out. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what you have to say. I'll check out the live stream too. What I might do, not because I think it is economically the right thing to do, but for the vibes, I may place a top 20, maybe a top 40, maybe a top 10 on someone who's generationally striping.
I can give out one. I placed one bet today. I placed one top 20, and I could talk about that right now.
Yeah,
I placed one bet while I was on the course today, which I never do, because I'm kind of switching up my strategy, which we didn't really talk about. I'm betting a lot less money on outrights and putting a little bit of that money I used last year into like positionals too. Hasn't been going great this year so far, but we're only 3 weeks in. I placed a top 20 on Austin Eckroat. Austin Eckroat for a few reasons. First of all, came right out to me. How have I been? Like we've known each other since college. Not a big deal. Secondly, he hit the ball really well at Torrey Pines. Came like 3 strokes ball striking, and that's not an Austin Eckroat course. And what I saw today was he's finding that driving accuracy, and I do think that's a little sneak peek or tidbit on something that could be important this week. So Austin Eckroat top 20 is the only bet I placed this, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Mountain Time is all I've got so far.
This is why I wish, and this is a question. I'm trying to figure out what the event I should Boots is. We talked about on the last pod that we would think out loud in real time about what's going on, because if you also didn't listen to the last pod and you're like, I don't know what they're talking about, Vincerix, the site, retired from a subscription standpoint. All the content that you're doing is over on ShipItNation.com. Most of the time, I'm not going to be involved. Like last week, I decided the last second I'm going to bet. Just posted it on Twitter. There may be weeks, though, where I want to plan ahead and be involved. Obviously, the majors. That's slam dunk, most guaranteed thing that's ever existed. Except for Aronimic, which I'm out on. And somebody in the YouTube comments said that they didn't like that. They were saying I should be in on Aronimic. I'm not going to be in on Aronimic. If I'm not going to, I don't want to do Boots if I'm not betting outright. If Scottie's in the tournament, I'm not betting, except for the majors. I'll take part.
Cognizant.
I think Boots and Cog is what I need to do. And I was curious if you thought that the listeners, the people would be fired up about Cog Boots, because it's not the biggest event ever, but it's the event I'll be taking most seriously from a betting perspective. So that's
Scottie won't be there. Brooks will be there. Rory might be there. Like there'll be some names there too. It's the week after Genesis, so maybe not.
What about because I think that's the leader in the clubhouse, but what about Valspar? What about over at Innisbrook?
I don't know if I'm gonna do Innisbrook. If you wanted to, I would, but I just don't like going over there, to be honest. Like I might, because this is not announced yet, but we have Waste this week, Pebble next week, Genesis the week after that, then Cognizant the week after that, and then between Players, Bay Hill, and Valspar, I need to take one of those off, and I think it's gonna be Valspar.
So you're saying right now, you're letting the listeners know that, again, if you go over to ShipItNation.com, code Vincerix, free this week, and then 10% off for life.
Yeah, you're getting all that.
The life that is starting after the Waste Management, you're saying like 6 out of 8 events boosted?
Yeah, this is going to be a historic run right now. And we kind of always toyed with this like West Coast idea, but didn't get credentialed into them. Like getting credentialed into Pebble was big time for me personally. I was like, are you serious? I'm getting allowed access here. And then I got credentialed into Genesis, which was kind of an issue last year. So I made it to all these events. I'm going back home this week though, because I didn't know what the deal was with the West Coast. I'm going back home on Thursday. Then I'll be at Pebble and Waste for like, I think a 10-day period. I'll be in California. So if you're out there, we'd love to link up, play some golf. But yeah, if you're getting 6 of 8 weeks, maybe 6 to 7 weeks of Boots content, and then we get into the major season. So buckle up. Join us. I'd love to help you. Love to help you if possible.
And I will, one of those events, probably down in Florida, because the weather, I was in SF in January, and it was, there needs to be, if they were playing instead of, because it sounds like Sony is going away, or not Sony. Is Sony going away? Yes or no?
I think the Hawaii is going away because Sony loses the sponsorship of that event, and then Kapalua, they wouldn't just go for one event.
If they host the Anthropic Open in January, like 15th, at the Olympic Club to start the year, and Scottie's there bending the ball around trees, and the purse is like $400 million because Anthropic has infinity money. It doesn't even matter. That's how they should start the year, because the weather in San Francisco in January is the best place that exists in the world. And I'm glad I was there for it, because it's been terrible weather up here in New York, which leads to, I was going to say I need to get down to Florida. But can you tell somebody at the PGA Tour this week to at least consider starting the season in San Francisco at the Olympic Club? Or if they wanted to play like TPC Harding Park just for the vibes, that's fine. Start the year in the Bay Area.
Or the course that we played on a windy day, a real test of golf.
What about a tour?
Scottie would win that event so easily if that was the case.
6-course tour through the Bay Area to start the season. That starts on like a Tuesday and goes to like a Sunday. Guys are just vibing. Huge purse.
Alcatraz.
Tons of sponsors. Yeah, Alcatraz at night. The Super Bowl's there right now. The vibes are good in San Francisco for sure. It's like a boomtown right now. So ride the wave.
Where is the Super Bowl? Well, I don't know. Where's
what?
The Super Bowl.
It's in Santa Clara. So which is like, it's in the Bay Area, but it's in the South.
Home game for the Seahawks.
The Seahawks should win the Super Bowl. I'm like,
You got mad when I called San Francisco the PNW one time.
Because it's disrespectful. I'll be honest. Calling San Francisco part of the PNW is hurtful to anyone actually in the PNW and probably in San Francisco as well.
Since I said that, Joe Buckets has lost his game. Maybe he heard.
He's really lost his game. I will also say, like, it's fun now because I also, when I bet Jay Rose, I didn't know who anyone had bet. I didn't like BK texted. I texted BK about halfway through the tournament and was like, if Jay Rose loses, it's the worst loss that's ever happened. And he was like, I didn't even want to say anything. And then he told me he was low tipped. I didn't know what the tip situation was, but it's funny not being involved in the week, like, because last year, every day you're in the weeds, or like, and you're in this right now. I was just saying for me personally, like in the weeds of it all, all of like the drama and the trends and what it is. It's fun when I'll see like the chart pop up and I have no idea anything that has to do with anything. And I don't think this is not a true example. I'm just throwing a name out there. It's like you'll see Joey Buckets like on the chart and you're like, why is this guy at 300 to 1? Like people are behind this idea. And it from time to time it hits, which is the crazy part. Shout out the chart. Some crazy long shot, but seeing on Twitter when you don't follow it as closely, these cards that have like 14 names on them and the super long shots are on there. I'm like, they got to beat Scottie this week. Like, but it's fun. It's fun. I love being out of the like weeds because there's so much. It's so good. I love it.
I'm still like I still have that moment around like 4:00 Eastern time. And I'm like, all right, it's coming out soon. It's coming out soon. I could go on with my life in like 30 minutes. I can do it. And happened today. I actually did do like a chart breakdown today on my ShipIt stream. Just I talked about the guys on the chart who I saw this today. So tune into that if you have not watched yet.
How's the chart been performing? And by the way, shout out at Golf Tips Checker, the chart. We love it. I haven't been, because I'm not watching as closely. All I know is that Rose wasn't tipped because I went to look at the chart afterwards just to see. How has it been performing this year? It was great last year. It beat you last year.
It beat me last year. Gerard, I think, was a runner-up at the Sony, and I think he was most tipped. I think one of those two.
But you're standing like we're honest potters. That's the whole point. It's being as honest as possible. You've been against the chart. The chart, it wasn't even a contest. The chart defeated you handily last year. Are you standing by being off the chart, or is your mind opening up in any way?
No. I've been 3 years off the chart. Well, 4 years off the chart, and one of them has been an L, and this was this past year. I'm in 3 beats 1 in most cases. So I'm gonna keep going, fading the chart, and hopefully we get back into the green this year. Last year was a rough year in the outright betting world, as it was for us both. A lot of runner-ups, but that's the game we play. And yeah, the chart did defeat me last year, but I'm taking it on head first this year yet again.
Who this week are like in the chart discussion? Like, who are the popular players this week?
Seth most tipped, Sahith popular, Cam Young on the chart, Nick Taylor. I have it right here. Nick Taylor, Daniel Berger, Novak, and Maverick. I was considering Cam Young. That's probably it. And maybe Maverick, but I figured Maverick would be popular.
That ties us all back to the question I was going to ask you about Justin Rose. Cameron Young coming up is the perfect return to the original question. Who's the next number one? Because I think people would have assumed Ludwig. I never assumed it. Did you assume it? You're a Ludwig guy. I never really was, but you've turned against him since the Skovern situation, which we've talked about many times. I think he would have been the most likely person that people said, like, this guy's going to be the next number one. Because when you look at the OWGR, it's like there's a lot of older players. And I think I saw tweets about that this week about the players who are in like the top 10. It's all the different eras. We just talked about Justin Rose. And people are like, oh, young guns taking over the game. I think people thought that, but now it's becoming clear that from like a strokes gained off the tee perspective, you can only gain so many strokes off the tee with distance. You have to be good at other things. You can't just, Bryson's even learned that over time and talked about like just hitting as far as you can and being young and athletic. You still got to golf your ball into the hole. Who's next? Because Scottie's one, Rory, Rose. The next person who has not been number one who's in the rankings would be Tommy. Can Tommy ever become world number one? He'd have to go ahead of Rory and Scottie, and Scottie's so far ahead right now. So I'm just saying, I'm just setting the scene of how good these players are going to have to play to become number one. Can Tommy do it?
I mean, Tommy's been so close to doing it. Like if half those events go Tommy's way, he'd be like number two by a long shot. I don't know if it's Tommy. Is it Cam Young? Is it Gotterup? Can Gotterup be world number one?
Well, let me read the rest of this. So Russ, no chance.
No.
Bob Mack, potentially if every event is a national open. If it's only based, if they change the criteria and it's based on national opens, Bob Mack. Also, shout out Bob Mack because we were on him here last year. But
what a sweat in the hotel. That was a fun week.
Is he playing?
No, he just had a baby.
Well, shout out Bob Mack for that. That's awesome. But
yeah,
if Bob Mack was playing, you could suck me back in to maybe go up against Scottie, because everything I've said for the last hour about the things I'm standing on, no guarantee I can have the discipline to stick with it, but I'm going to try as hard as I can. But I don't think Bob Mack can be one. JJ Spawn's not going to be one.
JJ Spawn could be outside the top 100 very soon.
Okay. Here's some guys who maybe. Xander or BG, could they ever become number one?
BG is so good at golf. Xander, I'm worried about still. Like, he did not look good today. From the Xander whisperer.
You in the highs and lows of Boots, one thing has maintained true, and I've said this a million. I said it after he won the second major. I said at that time, it doesn't matter what happens ever again in the history of golf betting or Boots. No one was more right than you were about Xander. It can't be repeated. But I think you've taken your Xander, and so after that, like being a Xander whisperer or not, I was like, you could be wrong every time again for 100 times in a row, it'd be fine. You take it seriously though, being a Xander whisperer, and you've maintained your level of Xander whispering. Has there been any events where you've been off on the Xander whispering?
I don't know, but I don't know if there's been any events where I've given like a real hard take. It's more as like okay or not okay. But the ones that I've given hard yes or no's have been correct. A few ones. I mean, like we've done a lot of Boots and we've given a lot of takes about him. I haven't given a hard take every time, but I think I'm 100. He's one of the few guys I think I'm 100% on. So Xander, no go this week. No go.
But Xander and BG aren't going to be number one, even though shout out BG, and in my heart he's been number one for years. So it's not like it matters to me if he becomes number one. But is he playing this week? That's the thing. I don't even know who's in the tournament.
BG is playing this week. Yep.
I
had a mistake actually. I thought I saw somebody generationally striping their irons because their caddy had a bucket hat, and I was, oh my god, it's BG obviously. And then when they got closer, it was Fitz.
Fitz is in the field. I bet Fitz last year. I think
I'm betting him.
Fitz could be number one.
Yeah, honestly,
if he could maintain it, he has the upside to be number one. He won't, but he could. But I'm excited to watch also the pandemonium of waste without having to think from a betting perspective too. Because I was thinking, even watching, I've watched a little bit of every tournament. Like I said, I would. I'm going to try to watch the weekends when I can. It's fun to just enjoy the tournament as it is, and the waste is going to be special. And seeing BG at waste and being able to just be like, because it sucks when you're not on a guy, and we always root for guys that we haven't bet, even if we like them. But it's just a different degree when you don't actually have a financial stake in it. But they're not coming one. JT's already been one. Harris English isn't going to be one. Sepp's not going to be one. Alex Norn's not going to be one. Hideki's not going to be one. Keegan's not going to be one. Vic
could be number one. He believes it. He believes it. So
does he? What's the state? Is Vic playing? And what's the State of the Union on Vic?
Grinding nationally on the range as usual. But
he's been striping.
He's been striping and chipping well.
Vic, I always have liked Vic at the waist, and he's never played good, but it's because he's got eviscerated around the greens.
This course is legitimate. Like, you can chip your way to hell here. It's crazy how tough it is around the green here. It really is.
I know most of this will be in the report, but who's been clipping it the nicest off the tight lies?
Pearson Cootie.
Pearson could be number one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and there's then Gotterup is next. So you think Gotterup would be your choice? Like,
Where's Cam?
is there a betting market for this at Call Sheet at Poly Market? Like free advertising, but if you want to give us money, also that's fine. We'll happily advertise for Call Sheet if they want to. Can we get a market for the next number one player in the world? Because that's something you could bet and keep track of forever. Is somebody who's not betting every week but would want to have something invested and on a good player theoretically, or maybe I pick somebody from unknown, under the radar, Connor Graham type of player.
Yeah, below.
Why
Yeah.
doesn't this exist? This has to exist.
We could probably request it.
Somebody request it. We have to make this exist.
And we would find so many guys like at like Boots in sweaters that are like 17, and we like $1 for, yeah, we would find them. I know we would.
This is what we've been meant to do because they don't end up having to be number one. They just have to get better, and their odds will change, and we could cash out.
Yeah, yeah.
This is better than the strokes gained market. This is a better idea.
So many ideas. It's insane, man. It's really good that me, you, and Alex don't have a pod because the ideas would be out. Me and Alex Waldron would just have like it'd be bad. The ideas we would have, never ending.
So powerful beyond measure.
With Claude.
Who else could be number one? Marco Penge could be number one. Siwoo's been striping. He can't be number one, but just shout out Siwoo.
Siwoo practiced with Scottie today. He knows. He knows. That's the first time it's ever happened. He knows that like they're the two best dogs.
What's because this has nothing to do with their playing. What was the best grouping on vibes today, or who was playing with who?
Sadia and Pavone, without a doubt. Alez.
This is why Cog would be sick too, because like Wrighton probably there, nuking.
Wrighton's here today too. Wrighton was on the range next to Brooks.
Wrighton, he is going to have events where he misses the cut, and this is going to be one of them, I think. But he's also going to have events like Torrey that make perfect sense. If it's driver, putter, here the problem is his short game. Yeah, and not if chipping is important. It has to be truly like Detroit. Wrighton will mix. Don't give up on Wrighton, but also you can't get overly invested in Wrighton. I've seen some people disappointed with Wrighton at the Sony, and I wanted to say Wrighton's not a Sony guy.
No. I remember that week I did like a video on Wrighton, and I literally was like, I was like, how much Bermuda putting has Wrighton had in his life? And he clearly has had.
That was a good call. I saw that video. That's the thing. I like seeing your videos too, because I don't know how many events we'll pot. We'll pot a reasonable amount, but like we need things to happen so we can talk about it for an hour. Like week to week, I'm not betting every event. Like there's only so many details, but there's still takes to be had. And I can't see a single guy on this list. Garrick Higo, maybe he could be number one. I genuinely don't see anyone who will ever be number one. They may not exist yet. Like it might be Connor Graham.
Golf ends by that time.
Could Johnny Keefs, have you seen him out there? How are you excited to see from a young gun, like new potential stripers perspective?
It's a really good question. Who am I excited to see? I saw that guy today, that Swede, Pontus. I think his name is Pontus. He's like missed the cut by 1 million at the Amex.
People are gonna be pissed. We'll edit it out. We'll edit out the dinks.
Yeah, that's Kohler. So I saw him, and he absolutely mashed. He's built like Ludwig, like in terms of height. But outside of that, I saw Davis Chatfield, probably shorter than Brian Harmon, and he hit it well. I was like genuinely shocked. But outside of that, I really want to see Johnny Keefs. I haven't seen him yet.
Because maybe he could be number one. Maybe Matt McCarty could be number one. McCarty's got off to a good start to the year. I feel good about my take that McCarty's going to be in the final groups of a major this year. He's good. Is he playing? He could win.
Fun fact about McCarty, he had the biggest crowd, bigger than Scottie today, because he's from there.
Can he ride the crowd I need you. Will you report back on if McCarty seems like he's vibing in the crowd, or if it's going to be too much for him?
I don't want to give it out because it was a pretty big Boots take that I had about that already. So it's on the site. It's on the site. So check it out. You can see it tonight.
But shout out McCarty. I think he'll mix.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see anybody. Maybe Jaden Shaper could be number one, but he's not going to be. The next number one, who's not been number one before, is probably under the age of 10 years old. That's what I'll say. Right.
Miles. The answer could be Miles.
It could be Miles. Speaking of number ones, I also have been watching a lot of the Australian Open. Cross sport dog ranking number one, we've talked about this before, is Novak Djokovic, but Carlos he's been the real time one. Novak is just for all time most dog. We got Carlos against Novak again in the Australian Open final. Carlos won, which is great for him going to live soon. He's got the career Grand Slam now.
Yeah, he can just go.
That's been nice to watch too. And I didn't bet that either. I usually bet the tennis.
They would probably take him like in an instant too, because Liv is just like they need anyone. You see the guy they're playing on the Aces now? Like, who is that guy that's covering up?
I said it 6 months ago when Carlos, or I guess 4 months ago when he won the U.S. Open and David Puig was courtside with Sergio, that he will play Liv in he will tee it up in Liv series, like in an event. I think it'll happen this year. I think we'll see Carlos Alcaraz tee up. But Justin Rose, old man dog, dominating at Torrey. Well, old man Djokovic was mixing at the Australian Open, and then Carlos winning. From a watching sport dog perspective, that's my number one thing this year above betting, because I didn't bet the tennis either, just to drink it in. What a start to the year it has been from a sporting perspective.
Yeah, and you got a weekend ahead of you, so I'm jealous. I'm excited for you.
I'm gonna text you. When do you post your stuff? Like, what's the timing of things look? When should people expect their stuff to be up there?
The video is already out. I'm about to go run out and go to this Melbourne event, and it'll be up when I get back. So I would say 3 hours from now it should be up. So maybe like 10 p.m. Eastern time, it should be up for the day one boot stuff.
And when are you posting when's the last time somebody could, if I wanted to tell you to post like a top 20 bet that I'm placing based on the Boots report, because I want to just go blindly off the Boots report on someone that you say is generationally striping, and there's going to probably be multiple people to choose from. I'm going to choose one for a top 20. When would I need to tell you that information so that you could let the listeners know on the site?
By like lunchtime tomorrow.
And you'll keep me posted on what's going to be in the Boots report so that I can be able to share that information with you, because I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to place one bet this week, not outright, but I want to engage the Boots report. I trust the Boots report. I want to have action. I don't want to be against Scottie. I think placing a top 20 or top 10 on somebody who's striping beyond belief is the move.
So when I put my bets in, I will at the bottom put Adam's bet of the week based on the Boots report X. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep you updated, and I'll let you know when I'm about to put my stuff in.
Perfect. Well, that'll be up on the site. I'm excited to check it out. Anything else for the listeners? We've covered a lot of things. Anything to look out for this week? Anything about waste? I don't know if we'll pod for what's the next tournament?
Pebble, Genesis, and Cog.
Scottie's winning this week. He's winning Pebble, so I'm not interested in those. I still think Gotterup wins Genesis, so let's pod next, most likely for Genesis, because I don't think Scottie wins the Genesis, but I do think he wins the next two tournaments. So I may get sucked back in. Now, if he loses this week, then he'll win the Genesis. So I'll have to assess this week by week. But most likely next time I'll pod or we'll be chatting as Genesis. Then maybe some Boots down at the Cog. We'll keep people posted, obviously, over on Twitter. I think Twitter is the best spot if you're a Vincerix fan to keep tabs on what we're doing. If I'm making picks, what's over on ShipIt, all that good stuff. Shout out ShipIt, shout out Tambo. Code Vincerix for free this week. Anything else beyond that you think the listeners should be knowledgeable about, or we should be talking about?
No, I mean, any questions on how to receive the content, any feedback on what you guys want from me going forward, I would always appreciate the feedback and how I can get better. And then outside of that, I'll see you guys in California. I would love to play some golf if you're out there. I know we got some California listeners, so I'll be out there from like Thursday to Sunday with no real boots work to be done. So I'd love to drive around and play some golf.
When I was out in SF, it made me remember last year when the West Coast swing. It makes me it's a shame I'm not out there this time because it'd be perfect situation again. And I would definitely, if I was there and you were credentialed at Pebble, I would unquestionably be there. So it's a missed opportunity this year that didn't come to be, because that would have been, it's going to be
Yeah.
special. How excited are you to be? You know, you're a strokes gained Bermuda guy. I know you're usually uncomfortable out west. How's it feeling so far? You're still transitioning to the POA, but by the time you get to
Yeah.
Pebble and Rib, it's going to be
I
serious.
mean, I'm excited for Pebble. Like Pebble is that one of those courses that really like is it's the view. Like I'm getting to see I'm getting to walk to Pebble fairways. Like, that's crazy that's happening. Yeah, I'm very excited, and like there's very very low access out there for practice rounds. You can't just buy a ticket, so they're letting me walk out there looking like this. So blessed and excited to get out there.
That is great. And shout out you for the hard work to be in the position. And shout out to the listeners who have supported us through all the highs and lows and things in between, and for the Vincerix gang over the years. Appreciate it if you've made it this far in the pod. Like and subscribe. Get over to ShipItNation. Use code Vincerix for free this week, then 10% off for life. Great work. Excited to read the Boots report. Excited to get. I've gone from not being interested in betting to so excited to figure out what top 10 or top 20 I'm going to place, and I'm going to be tracking it all week. So the Boots, it's worked on me. If I came into the pod not intending on betting, and now I'm going to be betting, and also Kalshi and Polymarket get the world #1 market up there fast. Thank you. And we'll be back for maybe Riff.